Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. I was having a conversation with a lady today, very nice lady, and the topic came around to what I believe in. Now, she wasn't an evangelist. She was being quite pleasant, but the topic come around to karma, basically. And she was trying to find out if I believe in karma. She started off, do you believe in God? And I said, I believe in a creator. I believe in many gods. And she said, well, what do you mean? And I said, read the Bible. There's more than one voice speaking to people in there. It's pretty obvious if you read the text. And also, who am I to say that the Hindu people are wrong, the Tibetans are wrong? I believe that they are right. And maybe they're all facet of the same creator, maybe they aren't. That's part of the joy of this life, not knowing. Then she brought up karma and said, well, what are you? Well, I was raised, conventionally, but I'm more of a spiritual nihilist. I always get the look when I say those two words together. She said, what do you mean by that? I said, I'm a spiritual nihilist. Spiritual because I believe there's a creator. I believe there's a point to life on earth, but I'm very much a nihilist because I believe there's no point to life on earth unless you make it your business to make your life better. I said, look at all those people that are staying at home every day. They go to work, come home, shove food in their face, watch whatever TV show is popular today, and then go to bed. I call them nulls, N-U-L-L. Plural, N-U-L-L-S, nulls. Because, you look at them and they're just like robots. There's no life in their eyes. There's no passion in what they do. They do it. They're capable of great love, but their spark is almost missing. Whereas my mission is to be continually improving myself. Because the better I become, when my time comes, I will return to the Creator. And my spark will join with the Creator, and it will absorb all my experiences and become greater itself. She said, well, couldn't that be karma? Couldn't that be your destiny? And I'm like, no. One thing I believe is the Creator gave up just a little bit of their power to give us the choice of free will. And it's the greatest gift we've ever been given. I said, let me tell you a story. And this story is true. This story goes back many years, but it has ramifications to the present day. At the time, I was a little teenage idiot. Don't judge me too harshly on this. But there's me at the center of 3 young women. And their initials are P, B, and J. I swear to you, I'm not making that up. Those were their initials. The fact that it also stands for peanut butter and jelly just makes the story more hilarious. I also believe in a cosmic trickster who doesn't have all the power, but likes to mix things up and make people laugh a little bit. So this is a real event that took place with 3 women with the initials P, B, and J. Again, I'm a dumb teenager. We're all dumb teenagers. I'm going to spare you the drama, except for one thing. There was one day, and I was a member of the Model United Nations Conference. If you've never been before, you get assigned a country, and then you're supposed to represent it in the United Nations. It's a good way to get out and socialize and network and all that kind of things. I had puppy dog eyes for B for the longest time. But I also had a problem that one of my friends kept hitting on her. It was difficult to hit on her without seeming creepy. Hey, this pack of people over there, all the guys are hitting on me. So I had this planned out. It was the final day. It was kind of a gala event. I'm not going to say prom because I never went to prom. Never had the interest. university activities interested me. High school didn't. Back to the story. There's this big prom. Now at this point, that that morning, I was dating P. I realized I wasn't being fair to P because I still had eyes for B. So I broke up with P, planning to ask B out that evening. And it's wonderful, there's dancing and everything, and I'm still terrified in my heart. Honest, honest to God truth, I'm still petrified of asking women out. It takes a great deal of courage for me. There's young, dumb teenage me trying to figure out, oh my God, what if they were talking? As a matter of fact, it was only this year I found out she didn't know. For decades I've been wondering, and the answer is she actually would have said yes, but because I missed my opportunity, that future didn't happen. What future did happen was Jay spied me from afar, and she thought, hey, this guy's handsome, he dances the way I like. We started dancing, and we wound up dating for a little bit. Jay had a best friend who was introduced to my best friend, and the two are married to this day. Our children play together, everything, blah, blah, blah. Now, you could argue that's an example of fate, of God guiding the hands of everybody to take my courage so I wouldn't ask B out. No, that was just a natural consequence. I chose not to for no good reason. I chose to break up with P for logical reasons. Like I said, she was a wonderful woman. She still is. We're still in touch. And J kind of happened. Now, any difference of choice could have changed this series of events. What if J had not been feeling that well that day and had never decided to come over to me? Then my friend would have never met his wife, and that leaves our universe in a very different place. But no matter how she was feeling, and actually to this day I don't know, I remember she seemed perky at the time, but for all I know she could have been very sick. B was feeling a little off that day. Actually, she barely remembers it at the present. And P, again, all these people, 4 people making choices, all to go to the same event, making their choices who to socialize with, who to hang out with, all that kind of thing. There's no fate. There isn't, oh, I'm going to stay in bed, but somebody picks me up and throws me on the bus, and there I am at this convention center. So, free will and not fate has decided things in my life. When I chose to get married, it wasn't fate. It was me choosing to get married. Fate is just a term. It's easier for people to understand. People want there to be a plan. People want to be able to say, this connects to here. Humans are great problem solvers. But they don't understand free will. It's a hugely complex gift. There's nothing in the world stopping me from going next door, knocking on the door, and punching my neighbor in the mouth. Do you know what's stopping me? First of all, I like that neighbor a whole lot, so my free will says, don't do that. Secondly, there's police around. Not here, but I mean in general, there's police around. So a rational choice would be, even if some demon came up and said, you're going next door to punch your neighbor. No, I have free will. I am not bound to heaven nor hell. I'm here to experience as much as possible. Besides, that lady's been through a hell of a lot. She would not appreciate that, and we're on very good terms. Yeah, another secret to free will. I can admit my responsibility when I'm wrong. And I tell people all the time, trust me, however mean I am to you, I'm way meaner to myself. And that's free will. I choose to examine my actions and say, could I have done that better? Could I have done something different? The answer is almost always yes, but I try to put myself in time, which means at that time, did I have the information? At that time, did I know X, Y, or Z? And the answer is usually no, I didn't know X, Y, or Z. But when you accept the burden of free will, you start to see the blessing and you start to see the greatness in creation. A seed flowers where it is because everything was right for it to be there. Enough water, enough soil, enough sunshine, etc. You make a choice when you go to McDonald's to have the Big Mac because that day you're feeling tired, you feel like a burger, whatever it is, you are making a choice. You are not destined because I would hope any creator of a universe this big, complex, and vast, and maybe even a multiverse, would have better things to do than to decide what you're having for lunch. You know, but it's our job to service the creator by our experiences. And that is such a difficult concept for a lot of people to understand. They want to invoke fate, they want to invoke destiny. And you know what? I can't, even though my experience proves differently, your mileage may vary, as is the current saying. So keep that in mind. You do have free will. You might have physical limitations. You might have mental limitations. You might have societal limitations because there's more than one society on this planet, and there's some that are very rigid in what you can and cannot do. There are people who would argue in our society the same thing happens, and I'm not willing to engage that argument because they have too many good points, and they can be rebutted, but it's not worth the time and effort to do so. So, what do I believe in? The gift of free will. With that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share, because sharing is caring. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Don't forget to click the bell icon down below. And we hope you have a fantastic day.